Hello, welcome everybody on next open session. It will be a live presentation to present you new machine which we have added to our offer. It is double Arbor Multirip MR200. Just quick introduction of me. I have been working for Wood-Mizer for over 21 years. First 12 years I was working as a mechanical engineer. Then for next 6 years my position was engineering department manager. Over 3 years ago I was promoted to industrial sales manager, and that is my current position. Today's presentation will be combined. We will present you also tools with most focus on circular saws. And that part of presentation will be conducted by my colleague, Mr. Mareks Lomako. We have also support from service department. Mr. Tomasz Wieńczak and Mr. Adrian Bugała will support us during the presentation. We have also two cameramen, Mr. Marcin Piotrowski and Mr. Cezary Ponikły. Mareks, I pass the voice over to you.
Thank you very much, Adam. Like Adam said, my name is Mareks. I'm a team member from Wood-Mizer marketing team here in Poland, in European headquarters. And this isn't the first live session that we are streaming, and this isn't the last one as well. Previous live session that we've been streaming was about our new products. And we presented some of the new sawmills that we have introduced here in Europe for the first time. That was the LT15 mobile sawmills, LT40 wide sawmill, LX250 the super wide sawmill, MB200 Wood-Mizer slab mizer, the slab flattener, and of course we introduced the HR250 twin head horizontal resaw. We have planned more live sessions like this in following weeks. So there will be a woodworking live stream next week. We are going to be presenting a planer, a multi-planer, and two four-sided planer molders that we have also recently added to our offer here in Europe and worldwide. And then the week after, Adam is going to be presenting the Wood-Mizer industrial sawmill, and that will be shown together with some log and board transfer tables. So anyone who is interested in that kind of machinery, is it the woodworking machinery or the industrial sawmills, make sure that you tune in. And from our experience from the last live session, we know that majority of you who are viewing us right now on YouTube are not subscribed to us. So we'd like to kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any following live streams in future. Also, we are publishing interesting customer visits, maybe some assembly videos, new product introduction videos, and many other different materials here on YouTube. So that would be quite beneficial also for anyone who is interested in wood processing industry. Not only that we are streaming on YouTube, also on Facebook. So during this live stream, you can ask us questions live, and me and Adam will answer them on air at the end of this presentation. So you are more than welcome to ask any questions that can arise during the presentation. For my side of presentation, like Adam mentioned, I will be showing you Wood-Mizer cutting tools. We will be focusing on our the circular saws, like Adam said just a minute ago. Also, I will show you a bit few other products that we have added to our offer as well. So there are drills, planer and molding knives, and many other things. So make sure that you stay in for that as well. And again, to not miss any of our future updates and future videos, live streams, make sure that you follow us on the social media of your choice. Is it Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whichever suits you the best. And you can also subscribe to our newsletters on our websites. So every month we are sending out a newsletter with interesting customer stories, technical tips, product information, and depending on your country, we're also sending out exclusive Wood-Mizer limited time offers. So that's a nice addition as well. And before I let you go to the presentation, I would like to ask you as well, maybe to share this presentation with anyone who you know is interested in wood processing industry, because this is going to be a really interesting presentation by Adam. Without any further ado, we are going to start our presentation with after just a short break of an intro.
Welcome back. I want to point out that it is a live presentation, so please forgive us in case on some unexpected situation. Let's come back to our main topic of today's presentation, to MR200 Multirip. Let's take a closer look on that machine. What is the purpose, what is the function of that machine? MR200 Multirip can break down cans into boards. So it means the machine could work with any sawmill, with any machine which is able to prepare the cant, two-side cant for it. So it means in Wood-Mizer reality, MR200 Multirip can work together with any sawmill from Orange series, beginning from LT15 up to LT70, also can work with sawmills from industrial level, WM4500, WM4000, also WB2000. MR200 Multirip also could be part of a SLP line or a Titan line. I think I suggest to start the presentation from the main component of the machine. Let's take a look on the blades. I will ask to open those side covers just to have clear view how the machine is built inside. As you see, the operator is opening both covers. Please point the camera inside here. As you see, there are two arbors and blades located on both arbors. Technical parameters of that machine. With MR200, we are able to process, to break down cans with maximum thickness up to 200 millimeters, and that is equivalent of 8 inches. The blade diameter range we can use here is from 200 millimeters, and maximum blade diameter we can put here is 315. So it will be in inches from 8 up to 12 inches in diameter. Functional thing I want to point out here is possibility to position both arbors individually. I will ask operator, I want to demonstrate it just for better understanding what I mean. I will ask operator to move first let's move the bottom arbor. I will put here the measure tape just for a better visibility. Okay, please move the bottom arbor down. Okay, I think you can see it moves. It went down, and right now move it up to its initial position. Okay, and let's do the same with a top arbor. Okay, we see the top arbor moves up. Okay, thank you, and right now move it back to its initial position. Okay, thank you. Why I wanted to point out to that feature? I think it will be good to explain it on example. Let's imagine the situation that we are supposed to process maximum count in thickness. We are supposed to process 200 millimeters thick count. How we should prepare the machine for it? For that case, we should maximally open both arbors and we should put maximum diameter blades. And in that case, it will be 315 millimeters blade. And then we start cutting, and we have situation where both blades located on both arbors, cut more or less the same thickness. It will be 100 millimeters. So for 200 millimeters thick count, both blades cut more or less the same depth. And then at some stage we want to switch to another production profile. For example, we are the pallet producer and we want to process significant amount of cans with thickness up to, let's say, 140 millimeters. What if we cut those cans, those thinner cans, without changing the arbor's position? It is still possible, but then the bottom arbor would cut again that 100 millimeters in thickness, so it means the blades and also the electric motor will be maximally loaded. The top arbor would cut only remaining 40 millimeters, so it means it will be partly loaded. So that configuration will limit us with maximum feed speed, because the maximum feed speed will be determined by the bottom arbor. If we center both arbors against the cant, then we can speed up the feed here, and and we get better production. As we have opened that area, I want to point out to another feature. Please take a look on the driven rollers which are located here. We've got three driven rollers just before the blades, in front of the blades. Two are visible here, the third one is just behind that cover. And also we have three driven rollers behind the blades. Please take a look how close those rollers are located to the blades. With such a roller's location, we are able to process relatively short cants. Minimum cant length we can process here is 700 millimeters, what is about 28 inches. From data collected from the market, we know that there are only few machines available which are able to cut that short pieces. Another, I think, very important and functional feature is mini chipper, which is installed in the bottom part of the sawdust chamber. I will ask to point the camera just to show that chipper, which is located up there. What is the purpose of that chipper here? I think for all who have experience with that type of machines, those people know that when we process cans, except significant amount of sawdust, a lot of waste is generated, like small pieces of wood, some cutouts, some barks, and all those pieces go together with sawdust to sawdust chutes, and quite often are physically blocking sawdust chutes. In that case, what we have to do? We have to stop the machine. We have to clean it just to have possibility to work. With that mini chipper installed here, all sawdust and all those small pieces first go to the chipper, are chipped, and then are taken by a sawdust extractor, which is located here. Both the chipper and sawdust extractor is additional equipment. Just as I referred to sawdust extractor, just few words about it. A sawdust extractor is equipped with strong electric motor, 5.5 kilowatts. The suction volume of that extractor is 3,800 cubic meters of air per minute. Okay, let's come back to the machine, and I think right now let's focus on some components located in front part of the machine. In feed table, as you see, is relatively simple but very strong construction. Is built in a modular way. Length of single module is 2 meters. As it is modular, it means that we can multiply those modules. So as I pointed earlier, minimum count length we can process here is about 700 millimeters. There is no real limit regarding the maximum count length. So all what we need to do is just to add extra tables. We have also that side fence here, which is very helpful, where we want to process cans with open side. So then that fence we use our reference point. For 2 side cans, as a reference point, we can use that laser, which is located here, which is also additional equipment of that machine. As I referred to maximum cant thickness, which is 200 millimeters, maximum cant width, which we can process on that machine, is we offer that machine in 2 versions. In narrower version, maximum cant width is 450 millimeters. In wider version is 540 millimeters. And the unit presented here is wider unit. So with that particular unit, we are able to cut cans with maximum width up to 540 millimeters. Here in the front part of that machine, there is a roller with additional tensioning system. We called it assistance roller. What is the role of that part here? It's very helpful, especially when we are supposed to process relatively thick cans. The operator role there is just to align the cant properly and then just push it gently so the cant gets under the assistant roller. And after that, the operator doesn't need to push the cant to the machine. That roller assists him with feeding the cant. And that roller is standard equipment of it. Maybe a few words about the operator panel, which is also located here. I think very good location for the operator. Let's start from that side. Here we have the button for activating both arbors, both electric motors which power both arbors. Here we start the bottom arbor, and there we start the top arbor. Sometimes people ask us why we decided to put 2 individual switches here. The reason for it is possible to use that machine with only 1 arbor working. So in scenario when we are supposed to process relatively thin cans with thickness below 100 millimeters, below 4 inches, we can only use, it is possible to use only 1 arbor. So then we have situation that we save a little bit of energy. It is of course possible to use both arbors for those thin cans, but we can also use just 1 arbor for some specific scenario. Here we have amperometers which monitor the load of both electric motors. And here all those switches and buttons are just for controlling the feed speed. Maximum feed speed of that machine is 15 meters per minute, what will be about 50 feet a minute. And here it is good to mention that that machine optionally could be equipped with a feed speed controller. And what is the role? It is simple but very important feature of that machine, and that is something what we highly recommended when we define the machine for the new customer. Role of that feed controller is just to monitor load of both electric motors, and in case when any of those electric motors is overloaded, the feed speed controller decreases the feed speed. That is also very useful when, for example, the machine operator adjusts a little bit too high feed speed. Then that feed speed controller will decrease, will lower the feed speed. Simple feature I think very useful. And here are some additional buttons just for emergency switch, some sensors, some showing that machine is activated. If something wrong is going on, we have always a possibility to return the count. Okay, let's take a look on the other side of the machine. I will ask to point the camera right here. There is the cover with additional doors. I will open those doors here. Behind that cover we have electric motors located. Regarding the electric motors, the machine, the smallest electric motor we can put here is 15 kilowatts, what is equivalent of 20 horsepower. Maximum electric motor we can install here is 30 kilowatts, what is equivalent of 40 horsepower, and we can put all electric motors which are in between. So 18.5, then 22 kW and 30 kW. 4 electric motors options are available here. As we have that cover open, I want to point out how easy access is for that machine from both sides, and that is very important, especially from servicing point of view. If we would like to replace the blades or just replace the belts or just do some additional adjustment, after quick opening any of those covers, we have quick, easy access to do all maintenance. I want to point out to something else. I will ask to point the camera to some special, I call it magic bolt, right here. It looks like normal bolt, but what is the purpose of that bolt here? For sometimes when we replace the blades of both arbors and we start cutting, we see some discrepancies between the blades. Physically, we see that the blades located on top and on the bottom arbor are not aligned correctly. With that bolt, we can just do compensation. We can just, in very quick, simple way, align it. So our recommendation is, when we put new sets of blades, first, please do trial cut, check whether the blades on both arbors are aligned correctly. If it is okay, then you can continue with production. If you see some discrepancies, then you can just do proper alignment with using that bolt. How exactly it is done, you will learn during the training session with our service department. Okay, I will close that cover now. And right now let's focus on the top part of that machine. What we've got here, there are 2 screws here. Both those screws are just for adjusting, for positioning the arbors where the blades are located. That screw is for top arbor, that screw is for bottom arbor. And that third screw is connected with the scale, which is located here. Please point the camera to that scale. And what is the purpose of that scale and that screw located here? With double Arbor multirip, if we are supposed to process cans, we have to initially position the height of the top head. So, and here there are some differences. A multirip versus, for example, edgers versus EG300 edger. In edgers, usually we don't need to do this because top rollers located in edgers usually cover the whole height of the machine. Here, initially, we have to position the head we lose a little bit of flexibility because it means that usually we need to sort our cans, but we gain a lot. We can get nice output production. With that machine, based on our collected data, we can get production up to 10 cubic meters of sawn timber per hour. 10 cubic meters will be about 4,500 board feet of sawn timber per hour. So we lose flexibility because initially we have to adjust position of the head for particular can thickness which we are supposed to process, but the production output is significant here. Remaining parameters. The machine weight, the total weight is about 2 tons, so the machine itself is not so heavy. To transport the machine, we can use forklift. We don't need to position the machine on the pallet just to transport it. The machine is prepared just to be taken by forklift and could be transported anywhere. The machine also is very quiet. Average noise level with that machine is about 95 decibels. Also, I think it's worth mentioning the machine size in comparison to its capacities is not big. 200 mm thick can is significant, as you see. That size machine can process significant cans. Okay, I think right now we are ready to start a cutting presentation. I will come back shortly after the presentation of cutting. Thank you and see you soon. Okay, welcome back after a short cutting presentation. First, let's take a look on the sawn timber. Let's take a look on the product quality of it. Please point the camera to the boards. We cut 2 cans. I will take few boards just for better visibility. I hope, as you see, the surface here is very smooth. You cannot see the line where the blades meet, and that is thanks to the bolt here, by which we can align both blades properly. So as you see, cutting quality is very high with that machine. In one pass we could get many boards. I also want to point out to the mini chipper which is installed here and which I described at the beginning of the presentation. Okay, we cut only 2 cans, but please see how clean that chamber is. It means that machine can work continuously without any unnecessary breaks, and that is also something what gives us another additional profit. So when we do the machine configuration, when we discuss about all additional equipment of that machine, the cheaper is highly recommended. Okay, we are just finished first part of a presentation. We will see each other soon on a questions and answer section, and for now I pass the voice over to Mark. Thank you and see you soon.
Thank you very much, Adam. What a wonderful presentation. I think that the new Wood-Mizer, the MR200 Arbor Multirip, is really a very interesting, a very fine machine, and Adam's presentation was really great. I really enjoyed it as well. For my part of the presentation, I would like to show you some of the cutting tools that we are supplying here in Europe. So if you are watching this live stream from anywhere apart from Europe, so maybe in North America, South America, Oceania, you know that the offer that you can see might be slightly different. However, in majority of cases, we try to have very similar offer globally. So if you see some of the saws that you like here, or maybe some of the other cutting tools on this presentation, make sure that you contact your local Wood-Mizer representative, and they will be able to supply you with their own catalog and offer. Just as an introduction, I would like to remind you that, you know, Wood-Mizer started as a bandsaw sawmill manufacturer, and whenever our offer grew of machines, so grew the demand for different cutting tools. So if you have watched our presentation from last week, we showed you the Wood-Mizer MB200 slab mizer, the slab flattener, and the cutting head there. We also supply here in Europe for the European market. So the MR200 Arbor Multirip that Adam just presented a second ago, we are using our own supplied circular saws in that machine as well. And you know, our planer molders, all our other machines, we use our own supply. So I think that we can go forward, and I would like to also, you know, just to make sure you understand that the products that we are offering here is a premium quality product at very affordable prices. So whatever you see here, I'm going to try to give you as much details about our offer as possible, and we're going to go forward. So apart from Wood-Mizer thin curve narrow bandsaw blades, we also offer the wide bandsaw blades and frame saws. So the frame saw blades and wide bandsaws we don't have here on the presentation because they are so big and they are really made for custom order. And for anyone who is interested in wide band sawmills or frame saw blades, just contact us and we'll be able to cater your demands as well, because we do offer them in steel versions, carbide tip, you know, sharpened, unsharpened, set, not set, and different kinds of services like resharp. So globally we provide resharp services in majority of countries where we work. So in case if you see any of the cutting tools and you know you want them to get resharpened, refitted, you can contact your local Wood-Mizer representative. Also, just so that everybody understands, what I'm showing right here is not the full spectrum, is not the full range of our products. There's much more. It would be just physically impossible for me to go over all of those products and really you know, do it in a manner that is very interesting. And so we have limited just the most important and most popular products. Before I start showing you any of the products, I would like to mention as well that our experts in Wood-Mizer have been working with Wood-Mizer cutting tools all around the world. So like I mentioned, America, so the North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, emerging markets, Oceania. We've got a very large experience in cutting tools, and our experts have prepared Wood-Mizer tools catalog. So that's the cutting tools catalog, and every item that you see here is marked. Maybe I'll ask one of the cameramen maybe to show us one of the saws so you see the marking on the saw itself. So you see that the saw is marked with our logo, and so there are also some technical specifications, and of course the SKU. So the item number or the product index, call it whatever you want, but every single product is marked, and this will make sure that it is easy to order those products and also reorder. So well, we do take pride in our cutting tools. So coming back to the catalog, maybe I'll show you the catalog, and I'll ask the cameraman as well just quickly show you just a brief catalog, maybe here inside. And just right here you can see there are many details in the catalog. Majority of our cutting tools are here, and almost all cutting tools that I'm going to be talking about today can be custom made for you. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving forward, I would like to mention how these tools are made. We supply our steel here in Europe, so we use only German and Swedish steel for our European markets, and for the carbide we source that in Switzerland, so it's a Swiss carbide. Doing that allows us to make sure that we supply the materials, the raw materials, from only the high-end manufacturers with a very thorough quality assurance procedures, so that so that you really can get really high-tech stuff from us. And you will see that with the circular saws. I will be mentioning a few very interesting features that are available only on high-tech products. Moving forward, before I show you anything else, also I would like to make sure that you understand that similar to our bandsaw blades, every tool that you see here can be customized and modified to the operation that you are working on. Basically meaning that we've got circular saws that are different thickness of steel, different thickness of carbide, different type of carbide coating, raker teeth, so many different features that we would be able to really get to you the perfect product for your operation. But to make that, we need to make sure that you contact us and speak to one of our experts. So if you contact us anywhere globally, you will be able to get the Wood-Mizer cutting tools catalog and get in contact to make sure that you get only the best cutting tools for your operation, which brings you, better return on your investment, better profitabilities. Let's start with circular saws. I'm just gonna quickly go around the circular saws, show you the features and maybe benefits of those features, and then we're gonna move forward. So I would like to show you from top to bottom what we've got here. Here is we've got rip saws for ripping, multi-rip saws here from the blackened steel. There are also some crosscut saws, specialty saws, and even a small scoring saw right here. I'm going to start by talking about the rip saws. So those rip saws are available in, like I said, in different configuration, depending what you're cutting. Doesn't matter if it's softwood, hardwood, green wood, maybe dry wood, glued, plywood, all different sorts of engineered boards, chipboard, laminated boards, saws for panel sizing, even MDF, HDF, LDF, stacks or single plates, whichever. It really depends on the configuration of the saw itself, so of the saw blade. As an interesting maybe feature here, maybe I'll ask the cameraman to come a bit closer, and we'll show you on this blade right here the marking. So on the marking, we would be able to see that you would be able to customize, you know, the number of your teeth, the bore size in the middle, what kind of mount you need, the actual diameter of the blade itself. So if we see here, with this saw, for instance, right, we would be able to configure the saw for you depending on the hook angle that you need, like I said, bore diameter, the type of grind for your carbide tips. It will be very easy maybe to see on one of the other saws. We'll show it to you a bit later, the types of grinds. So the curve of the saw, the thickness of the steel, the thickness of the carbide, and of course the number of teeth. As some of the features that I would like to mention to you today from our circular saws is that they can come in different kinds of hook angles. So it can be a positive, negative. We would be able to cater to a different type of cutting material that you are cutting. Then interesting feature is, let's say, anti-kickback teeth, or some might call them the tooth limiter. We show this blade right here, the top right corner. We've got here a rip saw with a tooth limiter. As you can see, there is one carbide tooth and one tooth not sharpened at all. So this saw blade allows us to control the speed of the feed, meaning that you can't feed your material through the saw quicker. It will be stopped by the tooth limiter. This will prolong your blade life and also make sure that, you know, any operator that is operating with this saw will be safe at all times. I want to show you the openings on the saws. So let's start maybe here from the top and we'll go to bottom saws. So let's show this saw here in the middle at the top. You can see that this saw features expansion slots right here. These are so-called expansion slots. These relieve stress from the steel. Here are cooling slots. Like the name suggests, it makes sure that it cools down your saw. This basically just prolongs your saw blade life. The next thing that I would like to show you is maybe the noise-reducing laser cuts. Those are going to be available here at the crosscut saws and the specialty saws right here. So these cuts, what you can see, these are laser cuts for noise reduction. And a cut like this in your saw can reduce the noise produced by your saw for up to 50%. This translates, you know, in a less fatigue for your operators, a better performance for your operators. It's really nicer to use specialty saws like that. Let's see if we will try to show you, but I can't promise you it will be able to see that. But maybe we'll try to show you different types of grinds on our saws. So the first saw, and maybe the saw that would be easier to show this on, is this saw. And we want to show the grind on the actual carbide tip. Depending on the material you're cutting, depending on your production, depending really on the saws that you're using, the size of the engine, there are so many different, you know, circumstances in your operation that we are aware of, and we would be able to get you the right grind for you. So we would be able to offer you the alternate top bevel grind. That's something that we would use for, let's say, multi-rip saws, for saws with bigger engines, for higher feed speeds. The flat top grind saws, those also are available for the multi-rips and triple grind chip. Those are usually used for scoring saws. Here's a scoring saw right here, just a small tiny scoring saw. This is the there are two different types of scoring saws. There's this, and also an adjustable scoring saw. So basically, a scoring saw is something that would go in front of your main saw and take out like a small part of your cut to make sure that your cut is cleaner. And with adjustable scoring saw, you would be able to, to open up the saw a bit so that it takes a bigger curve out of your sawing material. On this scoring saw, there is the triple grind chip. This allows the scoring saw to remove more of the sawdust, more of the chips, so you get a cleaner cut. Before I go any further, I would like to mention that the saws, majority of saws that we offer are available in two lines. One line is the standard line and the premium line. A standard line is a cheaper line. Those usually come with a thinner steel plates, thinner and smaller carbide tips. And the other line is the premium line. So the premium line might come with a thicker steel with coating and different kind of carbide tips. So our customers in Europe, they usually choose to buy from us premium saws. With those premium saws, you would be able to use them for a longer time, and it would have a greater return on investment. Having said that, majority of the saws are available for resharpening. So let's say if something happens to your saw, and at the time of sawing with a multi-rip or a rip saw, whichever, you hit a nail or a piece of metal and one or two teeth are missing. In some cases, we would be able to repair that saw. So we offer services like that as well. But like I said before, our services might differ from, from continent to continent. We are talking today about the European offer, so we do offer this in Europe. If you would like to know more services that are available in your area and the catalog, what I mentioned before, make sure that you contact your local representatives. Okay, so I think we spoke about the rip saws. I would like to maybe move over to multi-rip saws. And the multi-rip saws that we can see here are blackened. And that's quite an interesting feature as well. That steel is blackened using gas coating, and this is thermally applied. So these blackened steel saws. A coating like this makes your actual surface of the saw have anti-friction capabilities, meaning that tar doesn't stick so much, there's no chip buildup on the saw, and a saw like this works for longer and better. And you might also see here there is some sort of marks. That's from saw dynamic balancing. So those saws really are a premium product. Here on this saw you can see that there are 4 raker teeth, 2 outer and 2 inner. This saw features raker teeth with carbide tip, and those have 2 kind of features. First feature is that it cleans the material, so your saw doesn't have so much friction in the material itself, and also it cools down the saw. This translates to a longer saw life. The saw next to it on the left here, first of all, it has got less number of teeth, and it hasn't got any carbide tip on those 4 raker teeth. This saw is getting more and more popular with our customers here in Europe. Really, they see that it has got very similar performance to saws with carbide tips, but this saw, just because it's without the carbide tips here on the raker teeth, it costs up to 25% less. And if we move lower, here is another interesting premium multi-rip saw. This one has got only 3 raker teeth, and these are all 3 outer teeth. This saw is quite popular with our emerging markets. It has got thicker steel, it's got larger carbide tips. It costs a bit more. However, the life of this blade is much longer. Here, just a bit above, we can see there are some specialty saws. So again, depending on the tooth grind, on the hook angle, on the type of the carbide tip that we are using, you would be able to choose a saw like this for cross-cutting, plywood, laminated materials, chipboards, LDF, MDF, and many different other kinds of materials. And these are also available in standard and premium. There are also some panel sizing saws right there. So those are for manual formatting or automatic lines, and depending on your material, those come in alternate top bevel grind or the triple chip grind. And at the very bottom, the biggest saw that you see right there, that's a crosscut saw, and those we supply in Europe in diameter up to 850 millimeters. With that kind of saw, you would be able to cut stacks of wooden materials, boards, plywood, any other engineered boards, or just single ones. And just to stress that all of the saws, all of the cutting tools that we offer, they come in many various configurations. Like I mentioned before, we would be able to cater for your demand depending what you need. The diameter of the saw, the number of teeth, carbide tip, hardness, stiffness, grind, different thickness of body, features, hook angles, and many more. I know this might sound overwhelming, and we know that a customizable product like this, it's not easy to choose from. That's why we've got our experts at your disposal. So if you would like to buy some of the cutting tools and you would like to get the saw that will work longer and the best for your production, make sure that you contact our local representatives and they will help you to choose the right saw. The circular saws that we are selling here in Europe and other cutting tools, we offer 1-year warranty on those, and that is possible only because those cutting tools are made in high-end production facilities and they've got a very strict quality control. Okay, there was a lot, I'm aware of that. So let's move on from the circular saws to an impromptu table that we've got prepared here, and we are going to start maybe with a planer knife that I've got here on the table. I'm going to wear gloves, okay? Just because all the cutting tools are very sharp and we don't want any accidents happen as it's a live show. So here we go. This is a planer knife. We supply planer knives in different kind of widths, so you would be able to order from us a planer knife from 20 to 35 millimeters width, and those come up to 950 millimeters length, so really long ones. This particular one is 410 millimeters long planing knife. We use that in our planers and our woodworking machines that we are going to be presenting next week. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you tune in. Those we can customize for customers as well. And as other cutting tools, those are available in HSS steel, the HM carbide steel, and also we supply chrome steel knives. So chrome steel knives are a bit softer. Those ones are mainly used for only softwood, and they've got shorter, shorter cutting life. However, they're much cheaper. But if you are working with very soft wood, this does make sense to get chrome steel. With the planer knives, those are available in different customizations as well. So for instance, I'll ask the operator to come a bit closer again. On our planing knives, there is a mounting hole opening here, this opening right here. We use that opening to level the knife in our planers and other woodworking machines. You might get a serrated back planing knife. So for cutting heads with a serrated mount, so basically that's a interesting feature for a planing knife, meaning that whenever you get it back from sharpening or whenever you mount it for the first time on your cutting head, you can set it perfectly and align all your knives perfectly using the serrated back here. Okay, we're gonna go next to our drills right here, and this is something that we have very recently added to our offer. And as you can see here, we have prepared for you two different types of drills here. The dowel drills and the through drills. We do also have some boring drills for some special different purposes. Those we order only for a custom order, because those come also in so many different configurations. These drills are available in carbide monolith and carbide tip. So carbide monolith would mean that the drill bit itself actually would come made from carbide, and those drills are available, the smaller ones. And I'll show you the next drill. Next drill here is a carbide tip. Here you can see it's just a carbide tip drill. Okay. The carbide tip drills, we're also going to be introducing the smaller, thinner ones as well. And the usual marking for our professionals. Here is some of the drills you've seen. They are marked red, just so that you can quickly identify the right drill and the left drill for your operation. Okay, let's move on to the cutting heads, because cutting heads is also an interesting product, and I do like cutting heads myself because they come in so many different configurations. The cutting heads that we have prepared for you today here are the ones that we are using in our woodworking machines that we are going to be presenting next week. So make sure you tune in for that as well. And here you can see that's just a 40 millimeter high cutting head for your 50 millimeter blades here. Then there is a 100 millimeter high cutting head right here. Those cutting heads, they do differ also in their configuration. As you can see, this cutting head here is with 3 knives, and this cutting head is with 4 knives. So really, depending on the size of the machine, the size of the motors you use in your machines, we would be able to get you the right cutting heads as well. The knives that you can see in these cutting heads, these are just the regular HSS steel knives. When you order cutting heads from us, they usually come in with planer knives or or a steel, just to make sure that you can they're already weighted and you can use them straight away when you get them. However, like I said before, the offer might differ from country to country and from continent to continent. For more details, contact your local representatives. So to make sure that we can get this kind of instrument very safe to our customers, we make sure that we package it the right way. So here is a typical packaging for our bigger cutting heads. As you can see, it's a plywood box with a wing nut screw on the top. And here is the actual cutting head. You can see it's mounted with another nut right here. Okay, so packaging like this makes sure that we can ship cutting heads and our cutting tools all over the world safely. And before I let you go, maybe I'll show you here there is a packaging, regular packaging for our circular saws. This is how they're packaged when they're delivered. And to make sure that we get to you the right product, we always mark our packaging so that you know we are sure that we are sending you the right one, and then what you receive is what you get. And like I said, the same kind of marking of the product index or the item number, SKU, whichever you call it, is on the blade itself as well. So packaging is very important for us as well. Before we go any further, I would like to show you an interesting product which is, has been added to our offer just really very recently, and these are the specialty cutting heads. We'll ask the operator to come a bit closer. And these are different from the standard cutting heads in a way that, as you can see here, this is a cutting head for tongue and groove, right? Both cutting heads here, those are meant to be used with carbide plates, so a carbide knife. This isn't an HSS knife, it's a carbide knife, and this is already an advanced cutting instrument, so you would be able to use that in, you know, medium-sized to a large-sized production with producing tongue and groove boards. Instruments like this, instruments that we are using, that we are showing you here, the cutting tools, those will allow you to produce at higher rates, better finish and better quality wooden materials. So really, for anyone who is interested, I do suggest that you contact your local Wood-Mizer representatives, get yourself sorted with a catalog, the one I showed you before, that's prepared by our experts. And the last product what I've got here for you are our molding knives. So it's just a regular set of molding knives. I think that's the standard set of molding knives that we supply for our customers, and you can buy that for our four-sided planer molders. This is a HSS set of knives, and you know, here on a, you know, here's an illustration of what kind of sample profiles you might get buying a set like this. We do have different kinds of sets, and you would be able to order only a, let's say, a pair of knives, not just a set. And in case if you are looking to produce something very special for one special customer, you would be able to order from us a unique profile molding knife, meaning that if you can draw it, we can make it. If you want to order a unique profile knives from anywhere in the world, those are available from all our representatives globally as well. Right, I know that has been a lot of information here, and in just a moment Adam will start with his questions and answer section here, and I hope that you have prepared loads of questions for him for Wood-Mizer MR200 Double Arbor Multirip. I think it's a unique product, very interesting, and I hope that you liked his and my presentations. Before I let you go, I would like to ask you to make sure that you tune in for our next week's live session, which is going to be on woodworking equipment, and the week after we'll be presenting industrial sawmill, and that will be presented by Adam. It's going to be really interesting presentation, so anyone who is interested in that kind of products and wood processing really should get and see that live. And to not miss it, make sure you subscribe to our channel, follow us on the social media of your choice, subscribe to our newsletters, and let's keep in touch. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm passing you on to Adam.
Hello again. Welcome on questions and answer section. I want to welcome everybody who is watching us, and let's start with that part of a presentation. We have already a few questions here, and the first question is, how often should I replace the blade? There is no clear answer for that question. It depends on a few factors. The most important factor is quality of the blade which we use here. And usually the quality of the blade is determined by quality of the carbide. Based on our collected data from the market, if we use typical, or let's say low quality blades, then we can get maximum production up to 30-35 cubic meters of sawn timber. It means that if the machine works with, for example, WB2000 sawmill, we need to replace the set of blades every 2 days. So if we use better blades with good carbide, for example Wood-Mizer circular saws, then we are able to get production even up to 80 cubic meters of sawn timber. So here, if we consider different scenario, MR200 Multirip works together with, is incorporated into SLP line, then we can get production up to 80 cubic meters per shift, what means we need to replace the blades once a day. So the machine works with, is part of Titan or SLP line, we need to replace average once a day set of blades. Next question, what's the waiting time for that machine? Average waiting time for that machine is about 3.5 months. But here we want to ask you to first contact us. We have to confirm every order individually. So average waiting time is 3.5 months, but every order must be individually confirmed. Okay, next question. How many discs, how many blades can be installed on the shaft? It also depends on few factors. We say that maximum number of blades which we can put on both shafts is 12 blades on top arbor and 12 blades on bottom arbor. But that is not exactly true. It depends on some other factors. Here we need to consider other factors, and there are precisely 5 factors, and those factors are the material thickness, which is I think the most important thing, and then the second is the electric motors power there. Third factor is what species of timber we are supposed to process. There is different scenario with softwood, a different scenario with hardwood. Then feed speed, and the last parameter is curve thickness. For your information, I have a simple calculator built based on Excel sheet. Based on that calculator, we can compare all those parameters, and we can easily verify how many blades could be used for any specific scenario or cutting. Just example, if we are supposed to process pine is softwood, and we want to use 12 blades, what is possible, based on that calculator we can check that we can cut with about 6-7 meters per minute feed speed. So that calculator allows us to determine how many blades, but also what feed speed. And when we configure, for example, new machine based on that calculator, we can choose or we can decide how we should define the machine, what kind of electric motors should be used just to meet expectation of production volume. I hope this answered the question. What is the cutting efficiency of that machine? I think that question refers to the recovery we can get here. Recovery is pretty high here. Based on our collected data, I think we can get recovery up to 65, even 70%. What other questions? How many discs? That is the question which doesn't refer exactly to MR200. The question is, can LT40 Super have capability to use bend blade to allow us to cut both ways? So I think the question is whether we are able to supply the blade with a double edge. Based on my information, we are not able to supply those blades, but please address that question to our service or sales department. And I think that was the last. Oh no, there are some more. In MR200 you had 10 knives or so. In current machine, the machine which we present now is 10 knives, 10 blades, but as I mentioned before, there is possibility to put more blades. 12, we say 12 is maximum, but there is also physical possibility to put more blades, but before confirming this, we need to do some simple calculation. Regarding those calculations, if you want to get confirmation, please be in direct contact with me. Next question, when running only one motor in MR200, is the top or bottom one, or doesn't matter? It matters. We have to activate top arbor because the material, the cut can't physically rests on driven rollers, and driven rollers determine the cutting line. The top arbor is just beyond that line, so it means if we want to use only top arbor, then we are not able to cut whole thickness of the cant. So in case if we want to use only one arbor, we are limited only to bottom arbor. Okay, so I think, as I see, that was the last question regarding MR200 Multirip. Thank you for your attention. Next part of presentation will be conducted by Mareks. All other questions are regarding the tools. So thank you all for your attention and see you soon. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. I'm going to go through the questions that were submitted to us using the live chat, YouTube and Facebook. So we're going to answer those questions, and then before finishing, I'll give you a few more details about upcoming shows. So I'm reading the first question, which is, what is the waiting time for the circular saws from the catalog? That is a great question, and it really depends on the type of blade that you need, and also depends on where you're located in the world, because we would be able to supply any type of circular saw or any other, for that matter, cutting tool configuration for you. However, depending on the business of the the suppliers, we would be able to get it for you sooner or later. Let's go to the next question. I hope that clears things up. The second question, how long is the warranty for the tools products? So for Wood-Mizer tools, we do offer a 1-year warranty, meaning that if there is going to be anything wrong with your blades, cutter knives, or anything that just happens because of a manufacturing fault, that would be covered. Then if something like that happens, you make sure that you contact your local representative, explain them what happened, take a few pictures, and then go ahead with the instructions that are given by the local representative. Let's see, the next question. How are your products compared to the other brands in the industry? Okay, I understand that the question is about the quality and price. So as I mentioned already before in the presentation, that the cutting tools that we are offering are premium quality. So it is a very premium quality product at a reasonable price. So it really depends on what kind of saw or any other kind of the cutting tool that you are ordering from us. That would determine the price of it. And just to make sure that you get the best and the information that about your market, contact your local Wood-Mizer representative. I think I see only one more question, so let's have a look. What's that? Do the tools from your offer fit the machines of other manufacturers? That is a great question, because like I said before in the presentation, we do fit our cutting tools in all our machines, meaning that the Multirip that you saw just a second before, that was fit with our circular saws. If you would be buying from us any type of woodworking machine, would it be a table saw or 4-sided planer molder, multi-planer, 2-sided or a planer thicknesser, whichever, all those are fit with our cutting tools. And similarly to that, they can be fit in other manufacturers' products. For instance, we supply circular saws for swing blade mills, so those are quite popular in some of the emerging markets, as well as the Oceania. So let's say circular saws for swing blade mills are available from us as well. From what I see, there haven't been any more questions. So I would like to thank everyone who has been contributing and sharing this presentation with everyone in the world. I hope you really liked what we've showed you today, and we're getting towards the end of this presentation. And so For the next week, we have planned to show you the Wood-Mizer woodworking machines. We'll be presenting for you the planer thicknesser or a jointer planer, depending on where you're from, and multi-planer and four-sided planer molders, as well as, extraction systems, cyclones, some hoses. You'll see all that next week. And like I said before, the week after, we've got planned to show you some industrial sawmill. So that presentation will be held and hosted by Adam, also here in Wood-Mizer headquarters in Europe. I'm really eager to see what he has got to show us. So really, maybe if someone hasn't seen the information that I was giving you before during the presentation, we know that a lot of you guys are not subscribed to our channel who are watching our videos. So to not miss any future live presentations, make sure you subscribe. We do publish other kinds of videos. We are traveling to our customers all over the world, meaning we go, to Asia, we go to Malaysia, Japan. Really not now because of travel limitations, but usually we would be publishing videos like that. There are some interesting instruction videos, how-tos, technical stuff, all is being published on YouTube. So to not miss any of that, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We are also present on other social media. So if a social media of your choice is Facebook or Instagram, make sure you follow us there as well. And the last thing I want to mention is that we do send out frequently, meaning once a month, an email newsletter to all our customers all around the world. So depending on your country, the frequency of the newsletter might change, but we usually don't send more frequently than once a month. And those newsletters contain, customer stories, how-tos, technical advice, new product information, information about such special shows as well, and as well as limited time exclusive offers from Wood-Mizer. Those are really valuable newsletters, so I do hope that you subscribe and you benefit from that. It has been an absolute pleasure to talk about the cutting tools today, and I hope that you are going to tune in the next week or the week after to see our other presentations as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.